Welcome to KinoCheck News. Pirates of the Caribbean 6 is coming from the creator of The Last of Us, One Piece is surprising everyone, and there's finally info on the release of Arcane Season 2. Plus, there are new details on Toy Story 5, a number of Marvel postponements, and a movie adaptation of a very special video game. To infinity and beyond. Buzz Lightyear couldn't describe his own Toy Story film series any better. After the huge success of Part 4, the franchise is now set to get a fifth installment in which a true fan favorite could return. Disney's Toy Story series has been a tremendous hit. Toy Story 4, which was actually intended to conclude the film series, grossed over $1 billion globally and was also given the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. Of course, the company is not going to pass up the opportunity to produce another part of the series, which was announced earlier in 2023. According to the Disney Insider, there are no details about the storyline yet, but the sequel is expected to be quite surprising, as stated by the Toy Story producers. There will be many things to see that have not yet been featured in the previous films. The cast around Tom Hanks and Tim Allen will dub the familiar characters once again. Only Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head are to receive new dubbing voices, since the former actors have since passed away. Allegedly, they want to use AI-generated voices. Moreover, Andy is to return as an adult and play a key role together with his family. This should confirm existing fan theories that already suspected Andy's comeback. If you're interested in these theories, feel free to check out our Toy Story 5 movie preview. Currently, Toy Story 5 is expected to hit theaters in June 2025, but the release date may change eventually due to the ongoing writers and actors strike in the United States. We're heading back to Piltover. 3 years after the success of the League of Legends adaptation Arcane, the series is set to return next year with a second season. Arcane proved to be an absolute surprise hit for Netflix in 2021 and thrilled not just fans of the original with a fantastic look. Due to the adult style and the approach to topics such as mental health, the series was also able to win over critics. 4 Emmy Awards were the result. Since then, fans have been eagerly awaiting for a second season, which, unfortunately, is still some time away. It has now been announced that the sequel will be released in the winter of next year. Riot Games CEO Niccolo Laurent gave 2 reasons why Season 2 was not ready yet. For one, they wanted to ensure a high level of quality, so they didn't want to rush. On the other hand, they didn't know if Season 1 would be a success, and so they were late in starting the production of the sequel. There's no concrete information about the plot of Season 2 so far, but it will probably follow on from the end of Season 1, which ended with a big cliffhanger. Finally, the sails are being set again. 6 years after Pirates of the Caribbean 5, Part 6 will finally follow and take us back to the world of the pirates. For the new movie, Disney was able to hire Craig Mazin as a screenwriter, who was already in charge of the series adaptation of The Last of Us. After Pirates of the Caribbean 5, Dead Men Tell No Tales, the pirate franchise went surprisingly quiet. Granted, the 5th installment gave plenty of reason for that. With worldwide box office earnings of around $800 million, the film was indeed successful, but fell short of fans' expectations. Critics weren't too impressed either, punishing the film with an overall score of 39 out of 100 on Metascore. Nevertheless, fans hoped that the franchise could return to its old glory at some point, possibly with a Pirates of the Caribbean 6. Disney also seems to show further interest in the film series and has been working on a possible sequel for years. Initially, a spin-off with Margot Robbie was to follow, but this has been put on ice for the time being. Now, The Last of Us author Craig Mazin announced in an interview with the LA Times that he had already written a story for another film. He presented it to Disney and thought it might be a little too strange for the company. Disney, however, was thrilled and gave the green light. As a result, Mazin, who is also responsible for the hit series Chernobyl, will write the final screenplay for Pirates of the Caribbean 6 together with Ted Elliott. The latter already wrote parts 1 to 4. Whether the new movie will be a continuation of the Johnny Depp series or a spin-off remains unclear. It is also unknown whether Johnny Depp, Orlando Bloom, and Keira Knightley will reprise their iconic roles. Since the series continues to enjoy great popularity, Part 6 should also be eagerly anticipated and hopefully bring new impetus to the pirate genre. Full speed ahead to success. With the live-action adaptation of the popular anime One Piece, Netflix may well have pulled off one of the year's biggest surprises. The series entered the Netflix charts at the top spot, even overtaking the previous records of Stranger Things and Wednesday. With the live-action adaptations of Death Note and Cowboy Bebop, Netflix has previously attempted to adapt well-known anime, but to no avail. Thus, there was a lot of skepticism among fans when the streaming service announced an adaptation of the popular pirate adventure One Piece. As of August 31st, however, these fears have vanished into thin air, as the series is making viewers excited. Luffy and his friends have a high average rating of 83 points on Rotten Tomatoes and are currently ranked #1 on Netflix in more than 84 countries, something that no series has ever achieved before. Now, of course, there's the question of when One Piece Season 2 will follow. Due to the tremendous response, a continuation of the series is very likely, but might still be a long time coming. Hollywood is currently still on strike, and the budget may be a factor as well. The adaptation is considered one of the most expensive series ever, and at $18 million per episode, it's even outshining Game of Thrones. Either way, One Piece should ensure that people are more at ease when it comes to future anime adaptations. Avatar: The Last Airbender is to get a new series next year, while Pokemon and My Hero Academia are also on the streaming giant's schedule. Things are changing at Marvel. The show calendar for the remaining months of 2023 has been completely scrapped and is likely to disappoint a lot of people. The second season of Loki will be the only live-action series to be released this year. Marvel's Secret Invasion was a huge flop, leaving critics and fans disappointed. A mere 994,000 viewers opted to watch the first episode of the series about Nick Fury and the Skrulls, making it the second worst debut ever for a Marvel series after Miss Marvel. In terms of quality, things are looking bleak as well. The finale barely achieved a score of 10% on Rotten Tomatoes and thus fell short of expectations. Now, Marvel seems to have taken the criticism to heart and is pushing back several projects to 2024. As The Hollywood Reporter points out, there are possibly two reasons for this decision. First, some projects are still in production and are therefore affected by the actors and writers' strike. Second, Marvel will now also react to the negative feedback on their previous productions. As such, the studio announced that future projects will be released at a greater interval in order to make each series an event. This has now resulted in 7 productions being postponed until next year, and some even indefinitely. Echo, which is a spin-off to the Hawkeye series and is said to have a grittier and more grounded tone, is set to kick off in January of 2024. Next up is an animated return of the X-Men in X-Men 97, which is meant to be a sequel to the 1990 classic series and is now slated to premiere in spring of 2024. Likewise, we will have to wait a little while longer for Kathryn Hahn as Agatha Harkness. The WandaVision spin-off Agatha Darkhold Diaries will not be out until fall of 2024. Ironheart is a series based around the inventor Riri Williams, who was already introduced in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever and was supposed to premiere this fall. However, due to the strike, the production is on hold, and so the release has been indefinitely postponed. The rescheduling of Daredevil: Born Again is also expected to result in disappointment for fans. After all, a return of Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock in the MCU was regarded as highly anticipated. Wonder Man, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, is also a long time coming. Nevertheless, we won't have to do without the MCU altogether this year. The second season of Loki will still premiere on October 6, 2023, and What If Season 2 will also be available around Christmas. It might become the movie for cat lovers. In 2022, the game Stray excited countless gamers. In it, you control a cat through a world populated by robots. Now the adventure is to be made into a film. Annapurna Animation's Netflix film Nimona was a big success, especially among the queer community. Now the studio is working with Blue 12 on a movie adaptation of the indie hit Stray. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Robert Braid, head of Annapurna Animation, described the planned animation film as a buddy comedy about a cat and a robot. The game, he said, is about what makes us human, even though it's a comedy that doesn't feature humans. This purely animal perspective is what has contributed to the popularity of the game. They also want to try to transfer the emotional component of the game into the movie and at the same time stay as close as possible to the original. It remains to be seen when we will be able to watch the adventure. After all, the movie is at the beginning of its production and will likely take some time. Nevertheless, we are already very excited about the adventure with the adorable cat. This concludes the news for today. Which of the mentioned movies and series are you looking forward to the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up. For more content, check out our new movie preview for Beetlejuice 2 if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.